Today we're going to talk about fantastic beasts.
But first, this is how the Ministry of Magic ranks the danger level of fantastic beasts.
Okay, let's get into it, starting with the least dangerous, 1X.
First, we have the flobberworm. In The Prisoner of Azkaban, they are literally described as
some of the most boring creatures in existence.
And flobberworm is the only beast with a 1X. Let's move on to 2X.
Next are fairies. They can grow up to 5 inches tall and look like tiny humans with wings.
Then there's the Puffskin, right? In The Half-Blood Prince, Jenny receives a mini Puffskin named Arnold. These creatures are as harmless as a tennis ball and similar in size.
The Bowtruckle can grow up to be 8 inches tall. Bowtruckle, that's like the little wooden ones with the little bodies and the little scary faces. Let's take a listen.
The bowtruckle, which eats insects, is a peaceable and intensely shy creature.
Bowtruckles only get defensive if their tree is threatened. That's fair.
Everyone has a favorite tree. If you come near my favorite tree, forget about it.
Gnomes and porlocks are also considered harmless beasts, and so are ghouls. These guys often live in wizards' attics. Maybe you have one in yours.
Our final beast in the 2X category is the Grindylow.
They first appear in Lupin's Defense Against the Dark Arts class in The Prisoner of Azkaban.
They appear again during the second task of the Triwizard Tournament in the Goblet of Fire.
Harry twisted his body around and saw a Grindylow, a small horned water demon poking out of the weed.
It's a bit of a surprise to see them in this category. They do not seem very friendly.
We're moving on to a group of fantastic beasts that are a little bit more dangerous, but you don't gotta worry. If you're a competent witch or wizard, again, like myself, you can probably manage these guys.
Billywigs are a blue bug that's just half an inch long. Their sting causes giddiness and levitation.
Next we have Doxies. They're like fairies, but they're furry and black and have a venomous bite.
Streelers are a giant snail. Their slimy trail is venomous, so it's mostly just a danger to vegetation. Could you imagine being a farmer and the streeler is just like, you're just seeing this big streeler just like go by and you're just like, come on, it's supposed to be a good year, good crop.
Plimpies are up next, followed by leprechauns. Leprechauns appear in the Goblet of Fire during the Quidditch World Cup. Professor Lockhart famously unleashes pixies in his classroom in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
And he opened the cage. It was pandemonium. The pixies shot in every direction like rockets. 2 of them seized Neville by the ears and lifted him into the air.
An iconic scene we will never forget.
After pixies, you have the Gnarl, which is almost indistinguishable from a hedgehog. After that, you have moths and fire-dwelling salamanders, which are more reptile-like.
Murtlaps look like rats with anemones growing on their back.
Their tentacles are used for Murtlap essence. Now, you may recall, Hermione uses this remedy to heal Harry's hands after his detention with Professor Umbridge in the Order of the Phoenix.
Kneazles are very similar to cats. Hermione's pet cat, Crookshanks, is actually half Kneazle.
Nogtails look like cute little piglets. And Nifflers are attracted to anything sparkly. That's where Nifflers and I are similar.
Okay, friends, we are about halfway through naming all these beasts, okay?
But there's a whole nother half, right? Glass half full.
And next up, we finally have a cute one. It's called the Krupp, and it bears a resemblance to a Jack Russell Terrier. Oh.
Up next is the fire crab, which resembles a large tortoise with a jeweled shell. They shoot flames from their rear end when they're attacked. But despite that, they're relatively docile.
Redcaps, right? Can grow up to 4 feet tall and are mostly a danger to muggles. And Dugbogs. I love just saying that name. It sounds amazing. Dugbog, 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 Dugbog.
But the final beast in the 3X section is the beloved Hippogriff. One of Hogwarts' hippogriffs, Buckbeak, is central to the Prisoner of Azkaban storyline.
Now it's time for the 4X group. The first 3 beasts in this category are given a 4X rating because they should be treated with the utmost respect.
And the first are unicorns. Who doesn't respect unicorns? Unicorn blood has magical properties and can keep you alive, but at a terrible, terrible cost.
That is because it is a monstrous thing to slay a unicorn, said Ferenzi. Only one who has nothing to lose and everything to gain would commit such a crime.
Speaking of Ferenzi, centaurs are the next beast in this grouping. A herd of centaurs lives in Hogwarts' Forbidden Forest. Ferenzi saves Harry in the Sorcerer's Stone from you know who.
The third group of creatures held in high regard are merpeople. A colony of them lives in Hogwarts' Black Lake.
Winged horses, which can actually range from 2x to 4x, are categorized into various subspecies.
We have thestrals, or abraxans. Thestrals can only be seen by those who have seen death, as Harry discovers in Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
If you catch me in the morning before my coffee, you also have seen death and therefore can see a thestral.
The Phoenix has a 4X rating not because it's aggressive, but because few wizards have succeeded in domesticating it.
Dumbledore keeps a pet phoenix named Fox, who of course saves Harry and Ginny inside the Chamber of Secrets.
Fox also is the phoenix whose feathers give Harry and Voldemort their wand cores.
He's kind of a big deal as far as these creatures go.
Phoenixes burst into flame when it's time for them to die and are reborn from the ashes. Harry looked down in time to see a tiny, wrinkled, newborn bird poke its head out of the ashes.
The silver demiguise can become invisible. This makes it incredibly difficult to catch, as we see in the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find a movie.
Kelpies are shapeshifters and often take the form of a horse-like sea creature. Again, another cute one. I'll take 7.
Sphinxes have the body of a lion and a human head. A sphinx appeared in the maze during the final task of the Triwizard Tournament in Goblet of Fire.
Kappas. Kappas look like monkeys with fish scales and a hole on top of their head. I didn't make this up.
They are known to strangle humans who wander into their pond, and they feed on human blood. Yikes!
The rhino-like Erumpets have explosive horns, and as we know from the scene in the Deathly Hallows when Xenophilius Lovegood accidentally blows up a part of his house, Hermione did try to warn him though.
Trolls can grow up to 12 feet tall. Fighting off a mountain troll is the first life or death challenge that Ron, Hermione, and Harry encounter in the Sorcerer's Stone. It's a very nice bonding experience for them.
Yetis are pretty frightening, but their weakness is fire. Same. So remember this if you ever come across one, and I will.
We are down to the final 7 Fantastic Beasts.
Each with a 5x rating.
This means that they have been known to kill.
These are beasts that are not to be messed with, honey.
And reminder, they are impossible to train or domesticate.
Let's move ahead. The quintuped is a 5-legged hairy beast, highly dangerous and appearing in the Half-Blood Prince, although you could have easily missed it. A quintuped skeleton appears in the Room of Requirement in the Half-Blood Prince.
Manticores and chimeras are highly dangerous lion hybrids.
The most well-known werewolf in the Harry Potter stories is... That's my boyfriend. Unfortunately, there's a lot of prejudice in the wizarding world against werewolves, and their classification as a beast is not without controversy.
We're down to the final 3 beasts. Acromantulas are everyone's worst nightmare.
I can confirm that. They have a leg span of up to 15 feet.
Harry and Ron encounter Aragog and his family for the first time in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Harry spun round. Feet away, towering above him, was a solid wall of spiders clicking, their many eyes gleaming in their ugly black heads.
Oh my God, I just got nightmares forever. Thanks a lot.
The basilisk is one of the most feared creatures. It can grow up to 50 feet long.
One look in its eyes is enough to kill any witch, wizard, or muggle. A basilisk terrorizes Hogwarts in the Chamber of Secrets.
And last, but certainly not least, is the dragon, which are some of the largest beasts in the wizarding world. Perhaps the most dangerous is the Hungarian horntail.
Torrents of fire were shooting into the dark sky from their open, fanged mouths, 50 feet above the ground on their outstretched necks.
Despite the dangers that they pose, some insist that they're just misunderstood.
Hagrid, for example, hatches one as a pet and names him Norberta. It's a whole big thing. Norberta, she gets her own video. Don't worry about it.
And that's it.
45 truly fantastic beasts appearing in these 7 Harry Potter stories, from least to most dangerous.
Now, if you're curious, you want to learn more about these fantastic creatures that roam the wizarding world, listen to Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them on Audible, as well as the entire Harry Potter collection.